Greetings, salutations, it's me, James, your BA Sensei, back with another Power Query tutorial. In today's video, we are going to look at padding a specific string field right in the middle. So the data set we're looking at is we got various unique identifiers. You can see it's alphanumeric. What we want to do is we want to create a text output field that's 10 characters long, and we want to insert text zeros where the first number occurs. We're going to find a cool way to use records, and we're going to do a lot of text functions. So let me show you how to do it. All right, as always, you click on your data set, you go to data, and you say from table or range to suck it into Power Query. And you can see it already picked it up as a text field. That's a text field. That's it. First thing, I want to identify where the very first number occurs. So I'm going to start adding a column. And we're just going to call it custom, and I'm going to use text.PositionOfAny, and I say, I want to look at the code column, and I want to look for the occurrence of, because we're looking for any number, start a list, yes, and then say, cool, and that's with the curly bracket, anything from 0 and full stop, to quotation marks 9. So anything between 0 and 9 in a list. Say, okay. So what it does now, it shows you in this text field over there at what character number does the first number occur. It occurs at character number 3, that's where the 4 is, character number 5, character number 3, and this one is at character number 1. Remember, it starts counting at 0, so you can always add 1 to that. Okay, cool. Now I'm going to show you something rather cool. Let's expand this. We are going to create an actual record out of this. So just shift and enter, and I'm going to start a square bracket, and shift and enter again and start a square bracket there. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to give this a name. Let's call this the position of number, and just give it a name and press OK. So now it actually created a record, right? This is actually very cool. So now in there, it just tells you the position of the number is occurring in field number 3, 5, 3, 5. That's pretty cool. But now you ask me, why is that cool? So now I'm going to show you something even cooler. Let's say I want to find the total length of this thing. So let's declare a new variable called length. And we're just going to say text.Length and give it the code. And say, okay. So now in the record, you'll see that we have two records. It tells you position of, gives you the variable name, and the length is 5. Pretty cool. So let's now assume that the total length of the characters that I want is 10 characters. So let's call this length shortfall. And there I can say, I'm expecting this thing to be 10 characters, but less the previous variable called the actual length. This will give us the shortfall. Just press enter. Now, if you look at the record, you can say shortfall of 5, shortfall of 3, shortfall of 3. Pretty cool. I'm going to use a formula called, let's say, text.insert. Variable name, and I'm going to say text insert in the code, yes. Start at position number, let's say position of number, which we declared the variable before, and insert text, let's just insert a hash. Okay, and let's see what happens. So now if you look at the record, you can see that it inserted in the position of the number a hash. That's something that we want to actually do. Okay. So now we just need to actually repeat that hash for a number of characters. That's the shortfall. Okay, so let's quickly do that. Let's use repeat function. I'm calling this the repeat function. And they say text repeat. And what I want to do is I want to say repeat the text. Let's say hash for how many times? I want to repeat this for the length of the shortfall. Length of the shortfall. Say okay. So now if you look at that, we're going to repeat this hash 5 times, 3 times, 2. That's exactly what we want. So we basically just want to take this and insert it there in the text to insert. So I'm just going to take this code we wrote over there, and in our text insert, instead of just saying hash, I'm just going to say cool. Let's just paste it in there, and instead of making a hash, let's just make it a 0 and say okay. So now look at that. Pretty cool. So now we basically have all the variables in place actually to produce the output. And there's the output. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? So what I'm going to do is I'm also just going to make it all upper, text upper, wrap it all in upper. Say okay. Now that should all be upper, so now we have a very nice key. And all I'm going to do is to return only that column in the bracket there. After the square bracket, I just return text, insert that variable name over there, and say okay. And there you go. There's your unique key. And just like that, let's return that to Excel. And just like that, you have resolved your little problem. You've managed to insert and pad in the middle of a text field and create a rather awesome unique key based on the location of a number. And you also learn how to use records to kind of like iteratively solve your own problem. That's how I solve most of my problems, by iteratively going through the solution bit by bit. Anyway, I hope that really helped you see Power Query functions in a whole new way, and that could possibly help you to solve your next problem. BA Sensei, signing out.